Today, we are looking at the darker side of literature of two books about not too happy families. And we've got writer Helen Slade and book critic Anna Kimura to talk us through them. First up, we are looking at her mother's daughter by Alice Figueroa, a novel written from two points of view, one of her child and the other of her very troubled mother. Helen, I have to be honest, I found this quite hard to read. It's very well written, but, well, how did you find it? I know what you mean, but I literally couldn't put it down and stayed up till 3 in the morning to finish it. There's something about immersing yourself in a family this flawed, this damaged, that's compelling. You don't never want to be in that family yourself, but that's what reading is about, isn't it? Wearing someone else's shoes for a while without ever having to live their reality. You surprise me. The families in your own books are a million miles away from this one. Yeah, my readers can always be sure they are going to get a happy ending, which you uh, definitely, you don't want to give too much away here, but you definitely don't feel like a happy ending is coming for these characters. Okay, so don't mention the ending, but can you just describe your listeners what the book is about? So it's about a family with secrets. The mother has hidden her troubled childhood from her husband and her two children, but of course, it's shaped her entire personality and how he behaves as a mother and as a wife, which is especially obvious when we are reading the sections told in the child's voice, even though the little girl herself doesn't understand the meaning of everything she's seeing. For me, what was really so shocking was less what happened to the mother when she was a child, but how the mother treated her own children. Why is that? How do you think? Do you think? I think we are all programmed to see mothers as something sacred and poor. As a child, she was mistreated by her father, and in some ways, we are not that shocked by that, which is a setting in itself, and her own mother didn't help her. As a reader, we are less affected by that, I think, because that part of the story is revealed to us in the mother's voice, the other's voice. But the reason the way she treats her own child is so much more shocking is that the child is telling us about it, and we sympathize with her. It's clever how the author plays on our natural instincts to protect a child. Though we do feel sorry for the mother too, or at least I did. It's hard not to. She's trapped her in her own unhappiness, and we are trapped right there with her as the reader. It made me wonder, Anna, why is that miserable books like this one sell so well? Because all of us have families, I suppose the books play out things we all see in much smaller ways in our family lives. The other hard-hitting book this week is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Swearer. Now there's a family you who have a problem. They definitely do. Very few people will ever have a killer as a uh, teenager, teenager son like the uh, narrator in the book. but we can all identify if the challenges and all often ratifies the reality of raising teenagers. So, can we give us the lowdown on Kevin and Anna? This book is written from the point of view of the mother in letters she is writing to her husband, Kevin's father. Again, we should not say too much about the ending, but the way the author used the letter is very clever. I have to admit, I really enjoyed this book. It's a difficult topic, but it was much easier to read than her mother's daughter. As Helen said before, it's about the voice of a narrator. There's no child's voice, and in this story, the victim in many ways are the adults. Though, of course, Kevin's sister is a victim of her brother's evil. Yes, and the idea of where evil comes from is the thing that comes out in both books. If you choose to call it evil, that is. I prefer to describe it as a complete lack of empathy. Empathy. The mother in her mother's daughter had a terrible childhood, but Kevin's from happy home and good parents. Is he though? The mother often admits she felt motherhood hard. Aren't we supposed to think she might have caused Kevin to turn out the way he does, just like in her mother's daughter? But also, certainly look at how the mistake of the parent affects children, and this is another reason we relate to the books. Parents are always um, worrying if they are doing a good job.